What's going on, guys? I am SimpleSimon. I'm your comic book noob. Welcome to the NOOB universe. I'm here with hashtag married guy. Say hi, hashtag married guy.
Hi, hashtag married guy.
How's it going, man? It's been like almost not like a month since I've been here.
2 weeks, mate. 2 weeks. 2 weeks today.
Since the wedding.
2 weeks today.
But like since I've been in the shop, it's been a while.
Yeah, your folder is pretty fat, so you can tell you haven't been here for a while.
That's right.
And on top of that, man, I think you're going to have to pick up more than what you've been picking up.
Well, I'm struggling, guy.
What do you mean you're struggling? You got full-time work, haven't you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
like, I'm putting money away, bought my tickets to Japan.
Doesn't look like you're struggling here, mate. It doesn't look like you're struggling to feed yourself.
Anyway, we've got a lot.
I have to feed myself.
I know. We've got a lot to talk about today. And it's been a hot minute since we've had a guest on the show.
A guest?
We've got a guest today.
We've got a guest?
Yeah. So stay tuned to find out who that is.
A guest? Wow.
Quick shout out to my Minions. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're interested in exclusive members only videos, extended episodes of the Noob, and exclusive emojis, hit the join button to find out more about channel membership. But remember, your membership is not required. The best way to support the channel is by liking and commenting on videos.
Today's episode is for the hashtag action figure guys.
Yes, the action figure community.
That's right.
That you've got a foot in.
I got a little foot in.
You got a little
with
foot?
My
hashtag foot guy?
18 months. Shut up. Anyway. I feel like this is going to go for a bit. So we'll bring him in. We brought the expert in today. I'm calling him an expert. I know he's very humble, so he will deny it. But get in here, Gin. All right.
Gin in the middle. There you go.
How you going, guys?
Hashtag Gin in the middle.
That's right. Gin from GINZ Customs. If you guys, let's quickly just plug what he does, Mark. What does Gin do?
He customizes action figures and action figure accessories.
And he does a fantastic job. So
fantastic job.
I also do repairs.
And repairs.
Yes, Mark knows about this. He's damaged so many things, and he said, "Hey, Jim, can you do something with this?"
And you'll find out about a one that he has to repair today too. Anyway, so the topic is, and I figured I'd bring you in because you're a big collector of this line.
Okay.
That McFarlane Toys lost the license for DC.
That's right.
I'm assuming in the toy world that's big topic.
He didn't lose the license. His contract is expiring,
but it's going to someone else.
Yes, Warner Brothers, DC have decided to go back to Mattel.
Yes, end of what I read, or end of 2026.
No. So end of 2025 is what I
heard. End of 2026.
So
yeah, I heard about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So, well, what I've heard is that he's got the license till the end of 2025, but then most people are saying mid 26. So I'm guessing financial year. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I've heard. And then I watched a video last night of a guy said, no, that's not true. It's going to be the end of 2025. But I'm pretty sure McFarlane himself said we've got it until mid-26.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe his releases, like he obviously might lose a contract at some point, but he's still got releases coming out in that first part of 2026.
Oh yeah, he's got a huge log of releases that are about to come out.
So yeah, I guess because I'm still kind of newbie, you know, I've got a solid 18 months in the action figure game now. But what does this mean?
Well, we don't know really. We don't know. Mattel might license out some of their, like, they can't, like, in their statement they said that I read, they said they're doing everything. So they've got like a master license. They're doing adult collectibles, which is what McFarlane does, and whereas there's another company that does ones for the kids. I can't remember what it's called.
Spin Master.
Spin Master. Yes. That's it. And so I'm finding that, well, what I understand is that they've got a master license, so maybe McFarlane will still get to do some of his superpower stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Maybe they'll pass him on. Maybe they'll pass him. We don't know. Nothing's been really
and
told.
Still doing the DC Direct stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't. That Mattel might do that. Might want, because they said adult collectibles. So I'm guessing that DC Direct stuff.
That's more the statue stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah. So has he still got the statue stuff?
Yeah, I believe he's still got the statue stuff.
All right, so he's still got the statue stuff, but with action figures, yeah, we don't know. Like, they might still gift him part of the license to do that superpower stuff or other stuff.
But do you think Multiverse is done?
Multiverse,
it's definitely done because it is a McFarlane thing.
And before McFarlane, DC were doing Multiverse stuff. They had their own line. The only difference is that they were 6-inch figures.
Yeah, so did you collect DC figures before the Multiverse
No, I
started?
didn't. I came in right at the peak of McFarlane figures.
Yeah, I did. I collected Batman. So Batman. So no, let's say I collected Batman. So DC Direct, Mattel, mostly DC Direct, but there was other Mattel adult collectibles that they were bringing out.
Yeah.
You know,
DC Universe.
Yeah, DC Universe and the DC Direct stuff.
Did they do the DC
greatest.
collectibles line? The one that were in the white boxes and it had like the corner.
That's DC Direct.
Yeah.
That's DC Direct. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing.
Yeah. So that was they weren't the best figures towards the end. That's why they probably released it to McFarlane. But the new 52 stuff was okay if we're DC Direct. But some of the Mattel stuff wasn't as articulated. A lot of the time they did a lot of artist renditions, like Bermeo Batman or Ed McGuinness Batman. So they did a Batman Superman line from that comic book, Kingdom Come and Alex Ross stuff. So that was all from DC Direct, but the Mattel stuff was okay. It wasn't the best, but not as much articulation as what the McFarlane was doing. The beauty of McFarlane was that you can really put them in posing. You can just pose them any way you want. But they weren't perfect, the McFarlane figures, absolutely not. And that's where I suppose Eugene got into the whole modification and customization. Because you knew they weren't perfect.
No.
No.
Most of the stuff is based off comic books. And being a reader of comic books,
from a comic book point of view?
Yeah, being a reader of comic books and collecting these figures, I thought, no, these figures need to be more comic book accurate. So that's where I started my customizations. I purely did it for myself and then, showed you and you were like, wow, man, can you do something for me? And yeah.
It's just spread like wildfire.
It was more like I've got that figure. Can you do the same thing?
And then Simon was like,
I saw the Nerf gun.
I think the first one was the Batman with the guitar, the heavy metal Batman.
Yeah,
I think it was the first
Dark
one you did
Knight's
for
Death
me.
Metal. Yeah,
that was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was my first for myself, and then I did one for you.
I couldn't believe what with the chains hanging off it and the dirt on the boots and the bottom of the cape or the jacket. That was just shit, man.
And then Simon was like, man, you need to go on Instagram and show your stuff.
Exactly, because there's other people out there, mate, that do what you do, and you need to be amongst it.
Yeah,
so I think the McFarlane, coming from a Batman point of view, even though McFarlane released a lot of the action figures that I already had, I didn't replace them with McFarlane because I liked some of the stuff that I have, and I love that the ones that I have prior to McFarlane, they're probably worth a little bit of money too, so it was a good investment.
And you go through all the genres of Batman.
Yeah, of course, I've got
Cowboy Batman.
Pirate Batman. I've got them all.
Barbarian.
And they were, I can't remember who did those. It could have been Mattel, but they did story arc figure lines. Like there was the Batman Reborn where Two-Face was Batman and Jason Todd was Batman. And then there was the Batman Lost in Time when he was lost in time. And that was, Caveman Batman and all that. So I got all those. Then I got Batman through the ages, like the 70s, the 60s and stuff like that. So I've got those as well. And they were pre-McFarlane.
Being that you were there for the transition from Mattel to McFarlane, how did you feel about McFarlane doing 7-inch rather than 6? As a collector of DC characters at the time.
I didn't mind it.
It didn't.
I didn't care too much.
Because something weird that I found when I watched a few videos on this topic on YouTube was DC Multiverse, like hardcore Multiverse collectors. A lot of them were upset, but they were not saying they were upset when they went to 7-inch, but people have been collecting Multiverse for years now. A lot of them were like, I'm gonna probably have to just sell my collection now and start collecting the Mattel stuff. It's like, but
why?
Yeah, it confuses me. It seems like that's a mindset that collectors have, because now all of a sudden, maybe because they're not going to get the characters they've been waiting for and things like that.
And they're going to not be in size.
Well, that is a big thing. Like, do you think? Okay,
so it doesn't really bother me.
When Mattel get it back, do you think they're going to go back to 6-inch?
Yes.
That's a hard question.
I think so.
To answer. You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I think 7 inches is a McFarlane thing.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know. Look, for me, I don't really mind because it shows me that they're from a different manufacturer, and it's not a bad thing. To me, it's not about. I'm not that pedantic to think that they need to be all the same size.
But don't you think it's better that they all kind of match, so then you can?
For me, it doesn't. No. It doesn't bother me at all. It really doesn't.
Because I think.
I wish it does. I wish it did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course.
For the ongoing collectors. that want to keep that
And how about
light consistent.
and you're the same. You fall in that category.
I fall in the keep it 7-inch, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind. I've been collecting for a long time.
Okay.
So some of my figures, like from Mattel stuff, like some of them come in poses already. Even though they're articulated with arms like this, they're already in poses. Like my caveman Batman, he's like this. You know, he's hunched over. You know, and his legs are bent already. I can't unbend his legs. So, see, stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. And even my cowboy Batman, you know, he's like, his arms are like this. You know?
Yeah, that's a thing with some of the older figures. It's like the articulation's come a long way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I don't mind it. I really don't. I try and think of ways to make it work in my cabinet. That's how I look at it.
Well, what about some comparisons then, like Mattel versus McFarlane?
We can do that.
What's your... well, Jim brought some stuff to show us today, which we can do.
Bear with me. All right, so I just quickly grabbed something off my shelf, and here's a comparison of an old Mattel figure and a McFarlane figure. Now you can see that articulation is different. The size is a giveaway. It's totally different. So you're going from 6-inch to 7-inch. But you can also see the amount of detail that goes into a McFarlane figure.
Yeah. I always love the articulation in the toes.
Yeah.
You know, the toes thing? Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, toe things.
Yeah, I love that.
So there are pros and cons. I mean, I can see the pros in McFarlane here with the figures and the cons in the Mattel.
I always hated the cape. His bullshit cheap cape. I hated them.
It's bullshit.
I hate it.
What about if it had the wire in there?
I hate it.
Yeah, if I had the wire,
Still, I mean,
that's a game changer.
I always found this. I always find this.
The rubber
a little bit better, but yeah, it's less to. You can't shape it the way you want, but the wire
you can shape it. All you have to do is hit it with a
look at this guy, huh?
You hit it with a hairdryer, get some heat into it.
The expert.
Curl it to the way you want it.
Really, I didn't even think of that.
Stick it in cold water, and it'll set it.
Oh wow, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. All right. Now here's another comparison where we have a McFarlane vehicle and a Mattel vehicle. Price difference, a huge price difference. These are a lot more expensive, but you can see there's so much more detail into these. Whereas McFarlane, this in particular was given a bad rap. The canopy, this one is customized. The canopy was grey where the vehicle was black. Also the fact that it's a one-seater. A lot of questions were asked why, and there's room for two, why didn't they make it a two-seater? This one here, it's the same scale, but you can see that there's so much detail. Let's spin it around. You've got the whole engine detail in there, which is crazy. And this also I have customized and put a 7-inch figure inside.
There you go.
So this is to scale, you know, 1/10 scale, 1/10 scale. I would say that Mattel are far more superior in the vehicles.
And that's why it's much more expensive.
The figures the other way around.
Figures other way around. So there, the pros and cons with Mattel and McFarlane.
Yeah, well, I imagine like this would be more for the collector, and this is more for mass market, I imagine. And even though this was expensive, it's not cheap to buy on its own. People will complain because of the amount of money they paid. It didn't come to that sort of like detail that they expected compared to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So collectors, as we know, collectors don't mind paying the money as long as it's up to standard.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes, it's definitely not something that you'll give to your 5-year-old son to play around, or daughter, not being biased.
I guess the last time this happened was when it went from Mattel to Multiverse, right? What was it before Mattel?
I can't remember.
Too long ago?
Because it was too long ago. They had it for like 20 years or something. They had it close for 20 years.
They had a long run.
They had it like 2006, I think they said, or 2004.
But you would have seen
to 2019, something like that. Yeah.
You would have had you would have seen the evolution then of even Mattel improving their figures over that
Look,
time.
man, absolutely. Like, I to be honest, I never really realised it was Mattel. It's like, I'll be honest.
That's like hardcore collectors who like they care, but for the general collector, they're like, I just want to buy a toy.
Really, but you know, some of them, like I got like the Batman and Son action figures. They were great. Like the detail, the articulation may have not been the best, but the detail, like for instance, the Andy Kubert Batman from that series was amazing. 100% Andy Kubert, the cape hitting the ground and flowing upwards, you know, and even the stretch on the suit, the stretch on the outfit, where the briefs are, you see the stretch in the outfit of the being stretched.
Bat Dong.
The other one that's one of my favourites is the Jay Campbell one. Again, it's just true Jay Campbell. Like, there was just such great attention to what the artist portrayed the Batman as. I love them. They're right in the front of my, because I love them.
Here's a hot take, right?
Yeah.
Don't get offended, Jin. I did a video recently about my favorite figures that I've bought, like the best figures that I think are my best figures since I started collecting, like taking them out of box. And McFarlane rated as my worst out of those brands. I think the sculpts look good, the articulation's okay, but I don't think they're the most well thought out figures. And the reason I say they're some of the worst figures is because it's the only figure I've got that cannot stand up, no matter what. Even with the figure stand, my She-Spawn figure,
I've seen the video.
Even with the stand, she still falls over. Like, that's attention to detail for me, and I feel like McFarlane don't always think it through. Like other brands.
What would you say you're the best McFarlane figure that you've got? Without the modification, of course.
I would have to say they're mega figs. In comparison, like, I've got the Bane, which it's still a 1/10 scale, but it's to the true character. You put a Batman beside it and he's just like a dwarf beside it.
And that's one of the knocks that McFarlane don't really get there. Like, they're all pretty much 7 inches, right?
Yeah.
Well, you
the
notice,
whole-
like, Marvel Legends figures, they put a lot more detail into the heights and things like that.
Yes, they do.
Like, Wolverine's a lot shorter than the other guys and things like that. So that's, just one of those things, I think, one of the knocks. I didn't realise that so many people actually weren't fans of McFarlane either. You got some people that love him, and then obviously you got the people that hate him, which is going to be the case with all lines.
Yeah, true.
Like, is it a bad thing that this is happening? That Mattel are getting the license back?
I don't think so.
I think McFarlane, he did that from the beginning. When he first started doing figures way back, when it was the movie Maniac stuff, he upped the ante on action figures.
But again, on the look, like the aesthetic
absolutely.
and the molding.
Yeah, so what makes an action figure? Do you know what makes an action figure?
Articulation.
Correct.
But the articulation on those figures weren't great.
I know that, but that's what makes an action figure. Even if it's got one articulation, it's classed as an action figure.
He was making almost statues that had a little bit of that. Like, I've seen some of his where literally the only things that move are the arms up and down, and the rest is like a...
Yeah, I've got a Snake Plissken, and the only thing that moves is his gun arm, and probably his head. And I've got a Edward Scissorhands from that line as well.
Have you got that?
Yeah,
I want that
and all you can do is move the arms around like this on the head.
Stands. That's a great figure. I actually want to get.
Yeah,
that.
and I've got him like this. So they were a great line, but my point is that he upped the ante in detail, right? Everything detail, when he did that line. There's one thing I hate about action figures is that in the man or woman, the crutch area was like balls, like the top of the legs look like balls for the articulation. I just think that is just not good enough.
He covers that up.
Correct. He does it. He does that really well.
Yeah.
Like, it's really well done. You can't even tell. That's really well done.
But that also affects how well their legs can move.
Absolutely.
It limits their function.
Absolutely. From a collector's point of view, I'm not going to sit there and play with it, right? So
But you still want to get that perfect pose.
Correct. Yeah, there is. And I mean, what do you do when you want to pose something? What do you do? When you get a figure and you want to pose
He just warms it up and puts it into any...
Yeah, exactly. Well, before I pull it apart and paint it.
Yeah, and what do you do?
Me, I try my best to get the pose I want, and then I realise that I am not good at this.
So, sorry to cut you off. What were you
No. I do the same thing. I test its limits to see where it can go.
Oh, so what I do is I research on Google. I just type in Google, say for instance, Val Kilmer, Batman. I find a pose that I like, and I try and get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes I don't. Like, I recently got the NECA Commando, right? Schwarzenegger.
Really? Yeah.
Right, and I said...
The older one, the one that's been out for a while.
Yeah, I recently got that, right?
Good pickup.
And I said, I want to set him up like the movie poster. So I did, and it took me ages. I sat there posing, and eventually his arm broke. So I had to repair the arm, right? And I got it back to where I wanted. So he's like, like at the poster, he's got the gun here and he's holding the rocket launcher. And it makes me happy, to be honest. Like, it makes me happy. I look at him and go, man.
Out of box, right? Out of box makes you happy.
Out of box. Set them free. Set them free, people.
does.
You have to set them free.
Yeah.
Right. Last thing before we wrap up, because we're getting a little long here, we're going to focus on you, Jin.
Okay.
Because you're mostly a DC Multiverse collector,
Yes.
once the line is done, what does that mean for your collecting?
It means that it won't stop. A collector is a collector.
Are you excited to see what Mattel are going to be able to do with things?
Look, being a collector and a customizer, I vision what I want. So I will grab that figure and I'll do my spin on it to make it the way I want to see it and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm still going to be happy because I'm going to do my own thing with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's not going to stop me.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jin, thank you for coming on. Obviously, guys, if you want to see this guy's work, there'll be his Instagram will show up here, but also check out the videos we've done because those videos are fantastic. Especially the first one we did. We got a room tour of his house and everything. Oh no, his house of his room as well.
Yeah, you need to come and do another room tour.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I do have some work for you coming up. So,
Sweet.
a big list.
Great.
Actually,
I need content.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you guys so much. If you guys enjoy these and you want longer extended versions of these videos, consider channel membership where you get extended episodes of the Noob.
Well, before he does yours, he's got to do mine. He's got an alien of mine.
No, you haven't given it to me yet.
The Queen? Haven't I given you the Queen?
No, you haven't.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But yeah, members only videos, you get extended episodes of the Noob as well as exclusive videos like you'll see Mark's Bucks on the members channel.
Oh, what a night.
Great day. Anyway,
Great day.
thank you again, Jin.
Tune into
Thank you,
Tokyo.
Simon.
All I'm going to say was tuning into Tokyo.
Say bye, married guy.
Bye, married guy. But he recently did a Batman for me, and it's like a 5-inch or 4-inch. But you know, McFarlane never did a 6-inch, but I wanted a copy Batman Brave and the Bold animated series. So he did a modification on that for me.
Yo, do you love these videos so much that you want to rock some SimpleSimon swag? I've got 5 designs that can get printed onto t-shirts, stickers, bed sheets, shower curtains and more, so I can be with you always. Link to my Redbubble store is in the description below.
I got this SimpleSimon clock from the SimpleSimon Redbubble store. It tells the time really good.